and a huge play in the game. I thought when they hit the screen right before half and got the ball all the way down the field and scored a couple plays later, I thought that was obviously a huge point in the game. Then they get the ball back in the first when you're coming back from halftime. And we didn't do enough things in the second half to really slow them down. I thought, they did a good job moving the football, but I think it really came back down to turnovers because we get a good kickoff return, we fumble, we're driving the ball, we fumble past midfield. I mean, so it's just those are taking away opportunities. I thought we could move the football on these guys, and we did move the ball. And we rushed for 200-some yards and, threw the ball pretty well and protected pretty well. And just it takes away from you, obviously, if you turn the football over and we cannot keep the drives moving. And so that's basically the difference in the game. And, we got to do a better job holding to the ball. These guys have been turning the ball over, and we didn't turn them over. And, of course, that's the difference, turnover margin.
Questions for Coach?
Scott, Russ Brown with Kentucky today. What about your defense? What were the problems there? Because it looked like you missed a lot of tackles.
No, a lot of tackles. Just sum it up in one word or two words, I guess, missed tackles. I mean, that's – we're number 21's a good back. He's a really good back, and he's ran the ball hard against everybody's play. But that's no excuse for us. I mean, we got to do a much better job tackling, and we're not a very good tackling football team, and I think that's been that way for 3 or 4 years probably. And we got to do something about it, and we got to get better at it. And I think for us, and we work on it, but we got to continue to work on it, and we got to work on angles. We got to get stronger. We got to get around the legs to get those guys down. We got to take better angles. I mean, it's all those things we got to continue to work on the tackling.
Scott, this is Cameron from the Courier Journal. You had mentioned, obviously, the turnovers were a big thing. I mean, Hassan and Javion last year didn't really turn the ball over much, if at all, in terms of fumbles. What do you think has been the difference specifically tonight for those two?
I don't know. I feel like they have been putting the ball down a little bit more, obviously, this year. And, Hassan had one, I think, maybe in Western Kentucky as well. But we got to do a much better job of taking care of the football. I thought tonight Georgia Tech did a good job of, when we were down or going down, we're in the piles, they did a really good job of trying to flip the ball out and, actually grabbing the ball and pulling it. And they did a good job with that. We got to hold the ball higher and tighter, obviously. Hassan's tonight he was laying on top of another defender when he was down. I guess he thought he probably was down, and then they strip him on the kickoff return. But last year did a much better job. This year we got to do better with it. We got to do a better job containing the ball.
Coach Satterfield, Mark Blankenbaker, TheCrunchZone.com. It was 20-0 in the fourth quarter. What was the mood like on the sideline as you guys were trying to kind of get it together there in the fourth quarter?
Well, I mean, obviously when before they scored the last two touchdowns, we had a chance. And, so they score, we get the ball back, and then, we're driving to go take the lead, and we fumble. And they go down, they're trying to melt the clock, taking time off the clock, they end up scoring. And then the last touchdown was, we went for it on the -15, which you wouldn't do normally. And, they end up scoring on that. So, but I think, we were in it right there to the end, and we don't turn the ball over. We got a chance. We go down. We felt like we were going down and scoring. We'll take the lead. It's a completely different ball game in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Coach Satterfield, Michael McCammon from Cardinal Authority. This is certainly a team that didn't expect to be 1 to 3, 4 games into the 2020 season. What was your message to the team in the locker room? Certainly they've got to be down and disappointed. Are you worried about potentially guys starting to point fingers, or how do you keep them together when obviously their anticipation isn't even close to what they were hoping?
Well, you got to take it one day at a time. You can't look at expectations. If we looked at expectations last year, then we would have tanked it early. So you can't look at expectations. You take it 1 week at a time. You do the best you can. I told them we got to be committed. When things get going tough like they are right now, then some people in this world jump ship and they quit, they give up, and just like life is what I told them. Life, when you're and your partner there, you're married, and your wife. You guys are having a sticky situation. What are you going to do? You're going to run from it? Or you're going to continue to fight for your marriage? And it's the same thing. That's an analogy that we used, but we got to fight for our team, and we got to continue to bring it every single day. And you got to be fully committed in this deal. We play too many teams in this league. They're all good. They all can beat you. and if you don't show up, you will get beat. If you turn the ball over, you will get beat. And, to me, all of it starts in practice. It all starts throughout the week. And how committed are you? And that's kind of what we talked about. And so we'll see when we get back to work on Sunday.
Scott, Cameron again from the Courier Journal. I know that obviously you put up, I think, near 30 points, but you often seem to be stagnant at times, especially in that fourth quarter. What do you see as kind of the reasoning behind that?
Well, we rushed for 242 yards, 2 for 230. We were moving the football. Like I said, if we don't fumble, the couple of that two drives before the last one, then we're going to go down and take the lead. I think we moved the ball pretty good tonight. I mean, obviously, you want to score every drive. That's probably not going to happen. But we obviously needed more points. But we got to get stops too. I mean, it goes both ways. I mean, you get stops, you get the ball back. You turn them over, you get the ball back. And we gave them the ball 3 times. That's 3 extra possessions that they got the football and they capitalized. They get 19 points on it. So, there's a lot of things involved in a football game of how you win. And we didn't do the things necessarily to make that happen.
Scott, this is Gary Gray from AP. About Georgia Tech's physicality, was anything surprising that you didn't see on film that you saw tonight?
I don't think so. I think 21's a good player. 10 can run and throw. He's a good player as well. But I think defensively, they were opportunistic on defense to force those turnovers. I think. Again, we were able to move the football and score some points. Obviously, we didn't score enough, but I think, you talk about being physical. I think the turnovers were more them doing a good job of stripping the ball. I don't necessarily call that being physical. I mean, but it's been, smart and aggressive. I think they were very aggressive in that manner.
Coach Michael McCammon again. You had a change at punter tonight. What was the thought process in there, and what's your assessment, now looking back at how Ryan did tonight?
Yeah, I thought Ryan did well tonight. First half, he pinned them back 2 punts inside the really, I guess, the 5. So punted the ball well. We 39.5 average on punted 4 times. So I thought he did well. That obviously that's a spot we got to get better at, punting the football, and so we wanted to give him a shot and see what he could do. And we'll continue to look at that and evaluate that next week.
Scott, Tim again. I know Malik got sacked. Obviously, a few times late when you're trying to throw the ball downfield, but just kind of what were your thoughts on the way the offensive line played today after kind of having the whole week off?
Yeah, I thought we did well. Prior to the last drives there that they know what we're doing. Throughout the rest of the game, I thought the guys played well. We ran the ball well. Hawkins had 155 yards rushing, which is a good night for him. They protected Malik for the most part pretty good until right there till the end. So. They bounced back because I thought they played poorly in the game against Pitt. They bounced back in this game and played a lot better.
One more for Coach Satterfield.
Coach, Marshawn Ford's performance tonight's obviously getting a little overshadowed by the disappointing loss, but what do you think of his play out there?
Yeah, he's a great target for us, and we all know that he can catch. He's got good hands, and he can run after the catch. And, he came up big tonight, probably had some big plays. In the passing game, and we expect that out of him. We expect him to do that. We like to get the ball to Dez Fitzpatrick more, and there were a couple of times we had opportunities there and just didn't capitalize on as many as we'd like. But I thought overall we made some plays down the field. Obviously we didn't make enough, need to make more, and we got to get back to work. Like you say, we got a tough matchup next week and against Notre Dame, but we got to continue to work, and we got to get better ourselves. No matter who we play, we got to get better as a football team.
Coach, thank you for your time.
All right. Thanks, guys.